va bene che tu mi dici la storia, no?
Sì.
Che stai facendo adesso. E poi mi dici anche il tuo rapporto proprio con il ballo.
Questo non capisco che vuol dire. Il rapporto con
per
il...
te la musica, il ballo del lago dei cigni?
It's a ballet. It's a ballet of love, really, for me. As soon as the prince goes to the lake and he sees Odette there, the white swan, he's gone there to hunt the swans with all his crew. And they raise their crossbows and all the swans, more swans come out and then they stop. They raise them again, more swans come out. They raise them again, and then she comes out to the front. And the swans at this point are like this in a triangle. And she comes right to the front, and she says, "You cannot shoot my swans." You know, and she puts herself right in front and defends. She's going to defend her flock. You know, at the jeopardy of her life, of her safety. And from the moment that he sees her, he's in love. He's in love with this creature, whatever it is. If it's a creature, if it's a woman, you don't really know. She has both. And it's that sort of goodness, that feeling of that altruism, that she would do anything for her flock, for the others, even to risk her own safety. It was beautiful. It's beautiful for me. And obviously for the prince too, who falls in love with her. And then all the problems of the trap that happens when Rothbart puts the spell on his daughter to make her look like the white swan. And she comes into this party where the prince has to choose a wife because it's time for him to get married. And so all the women are there and the mother shows him all the women and he doesn't really know what to do. He's not really in love with any of them because he's already seen the white swan. And then she comes in, Rothbard and his daughter, and she's all dressed up to look like her. And he sees her and something's different, but it's her. He knows it's her. It must be her. It's just somehow changed. And Rothbard tricks him into saying that he will love her always, that he will marry her. The moment that he says, "Will you love her always?" and he says, "Yes, I will," she's doomed, the white swan, because she's locked into the form of the swan forever. She can never become a woman again as she was before. All a bit confused.
Il film è anche una storia d'amore.
Sì.
Il cigno poi viene salvato dal protagonista.
Sì.
Puoi descrivere questa scena finale? Quando tu sei, dopo che lui ha ucciso...
Ma la scena finale tu vuoi che spiego? Ma questo è... Sì.
Forse, cosa vuol dire... No, oppure dimmi una cosa.
Sì.
Secondo te che cos'è l'amore? Cioè l'amore è in grado di salvare una persona. L'amore cos'è per te? Anche se sei molto giovane, come vedi l'amore?
Questo è come vedo il mondo. What is there? I don't know what I can even say. I mean, what is there to say about what love is?
Cioè questo film è una favola, diciamo, no?
Sì, in un senso sì.
Ecco, allora se puoi dirmi il senso del finale proprio di questo film, come l'amore riesce poi a...
My character throughout the film, especially towards the end of the film, went through a period where she really was in controlled by the darker forces, let's say, of the film, by the school and of the old ballet, and of the choreographer and his desires and his schemes and planning and his dreams. She is just living out the dream of the choreographer. And the dream is cold. It's a cold, hard dream. It's not a good, pure dream. And she's been absorbed by this. And then at the end, Jason, who has been trying to save her all this time, I think he sort of understands what's happening, even if it's not clear exactly where she is, where she's going, why she's acting this way. He has a sense that it's not really her. When he talks to her, he can see in her eyes something's changed. It isn't, maybe at times, her old personality, the happiness that she had, comes out, and he sees it, so he knows there's something to look for, something to try and save. And at the end, through his persistency, he never gives up. He keeps trying. He finds a way to break it, to stop the evil and to break it. And in the end, to save me.
Senti, puoi parlarmi del tuo rapporto con Peter, con il regista? Da quando l'hai conosciuto? Cioè, da quando l'hai conosciuto, come è avvenuto l'incontro, come hai deciso di lavorare con lui, e poi il tuo rapporto durante il film, ora che sei alla fine.
Right. Not very long. I met Peter not very long before the film. We met in New York, where I live, had tea together, and then a couple of days later, maybe a week later, we met again together with Gary, and did a little reading, and that was basically it as far as our meetings before I came to do the film, just the 2 times. I like Peter very much. He's very, it's hard to describe. He's very intelligent, and he has some very, very good ideas, and very, I think, clear ideas in his head. But it amazes me that when we would sometimes have meetings together on weekends, before the film started, to try and talk about ideas that we both had. He was so open. He was unbelievably open with me. Any kind of idea, even if it was a crazy idea I came up with, he would listen and ask me why, and I would explain why I thought this, and he would say, maybe yes, maybe no, this is how I thought about it, and explain things, which is wonderful. He was really nice. He's very sensitive, very human person. I think sometimes in the movie business you don't get that too much. Some people, not everyone, get a little desensitized and a little into the movie business and the power, and which is fine too, but it's another thing. He's not involved in that at all.
Quando hai conosciuto Peter, avevi già letto la sceneggiatura?
Yes.
E che cosa ti ha fatto decidere di più? La sceneggiatura o l'incontro con Peter?
I think everything. It's all a combination. Everything has to be sort of right and be working for the film.
Secondo te c'è una differenza a girare con un regista e una troupe italiana e un regista e una troupe americana? Cioè tu trovi c'è un modo diverso di lavorare?
Yeah, I found differences. I think not so much in the director. Not so much. I think in the crew. Yeah, the crew is much different here. Everyone is related to everyone else, and it's all a big family, and it's nice. I love working in Italy.
Perché in America invece è diverso, la giornata di lavoro è più distaccata, è più freddo il rapporto con la troupe.
Not always, not always. I mean, they have wonderful crews in America also. I've worked with, with some really nice crews. I think it's, in any country you have people who are wonderful, and then you have people who are colder and whatever. I found that in working in both countries, the people were professional, which is important, to say the least. Which, I get kind of frustrated when I feel there's a lack of professionalism and that people are slacking off and just joking. It's fine to do that as long as you work and you do your job, which I found here. People do. They do their jobs and they have fun doing it, And in America, they all do their jobs also. Sometimes a little colder, sometimes, a little differently, but it still works well.
Gary, what about Gary? Cosa puoi dire di Gary? Come compagno di lavoro?
Come
compagno di lavoro, come attore, come persona?
Gary is another very intelligent one. They got I got a bunch of pretty smart people on this set. Gary is very gentle, and very nice, and calm, and I would ask him favors sometimes. If he would be doing an eye line for me, I would ask him, do you think just to help me you could do a little bit of this? I know maybe you don't want to do it for your performance, but for while you're here, do you think you could? Never any problem, He's very nice.
Un attore come Lorenzo Sierra, che in Europa ha un grande carisma, come ti è sembrato?
I loved Tertiev. There's something very powerful about